Republicans are already set to spin a Ron Paul victory in Iowa by basically ignoring it.
By the way, Ron Paul cannot get elected, I'm sorry to tell you.
Romney a run in the Granite State after his near victory in Iowa.
Ron Paul wins the Iowa caucuses. Well, heaven forbid. Iowa's governor going so far as to say that if the Texas congressman wins, ignore it and look at who finishes second. My own colleague, Chris Wallace, says if Ron Paul takes Iowa, it discredits the state's caucuses. Bill O'Reilly says Paul can't win the nomination, even if he does win the Iowa caucuses. Juan Williams says, well, he's unelectable. Bill Kristol says he's unelectable. And scores of Republican State Party chairmen across the country say Ron Paul is unelectable.
Here's what Congressman Paul's rivals, though, are saying. I want to quote them. We'll put it up on the screen. Ron Paul's views are totally outside the mainstream of virtually every decent American. That's Newt Gingrich. Ron Paul is to the left of Barack Obama on national security. He's even to the left of Dennis Kucinich. Don't laugh. That was Rick Santorum. And this, Ron Paul would be dangerous as president. That's Michelle Bachmann.
I want Dubs, my dog, to go to Washington, not Ron Paul.
With all due respect to Ron Paul, I think I have never heard a more dangerous answer for American security than the one that we just heard from Ron Paul.
And why did Fox News not treat Ron Paul better when he's been talking about this stuff for the past 8 years?
Why does he have to go all in libertarian? Why does he have to have all of it? Can't he say smaller government, free markets, lower taxes?
Ron Paul wins here. What then?
Well, the Ron Paul people are not going to like my saying this, but to a certain degree it will discredit the Iowa caucuses.
If Ron Paul wins Iowa, we just take it out.
Would you consider Mitt Romney or Newt Gingrich as your vice president?
You know who's interesting to me is Paul. Paul's doing very well out in Iowa, and I don't think that's going to thrill a lot of the Republican establishment.
Another shakeup in Iowa, and establishment Republicans, well, they're not real happy with this one. A new poll shows Ron Paul on top.
It is a sentence that gives the Republican establishment heartburn. Ron Paul is in contention to win the Iowa caucuses.
I'm sorry, but this Ron Paul is going to destroy this party.
See this room? Like 2/3 of us laid off when Ron Paul was president.
Does the GOP really think they can win without the support of Ron Paul?
No, they can't.
They can't.
They can't.
The GOP had better not marginalize Ron Paul and his supporters after this, because Ron Paul and his supporters understand that a lot of Americans are war-weary and we are broke.
But I agree with Ron Paul economically, his small government, and everything else.
I really get a kick out of Ron Paul. I really like a lot of what he said.
I like Ron Paul. I really do. I really do. I really like Ron Paul. The guy is intellectually consistent.
So obviously Ron Paul fan. Yeah.
Huge Ron Paul fan. Honored. What are you honored to be on the show?
What part of his platform do you like?
Every single thing that comes out of his mouth, I go, yeah, finally. When he talks about the gold standard, when he talks about civil liberties, when he talks about everything he says, you know.
We're going to take Ron Paul all the way to the White House, 2012.